Okay, for my journal, the first question is, what are the academic benefits of focusing a lesson surrounding a big idea? So it engages the students in a conversation and gets them thinking about the main focus. Helps connect the students to prior knowledge, lets students know the main idea of what they will be focusing on in the lesson, and helps students reflect on their learning after the lesson. In the lesson that we watched, the main idea was um, a picture is worth 1,000 words. This was connected to multiplication and division strategies. Here's a picture of what she did. Question number 2 was, what strategies did I see that helped us develop the understanding of the concepts of multiplication and division? She connected the big idea, a picture's worth 1,000 words, to the students' shared ideas. You can see here, they said adding, it's like adding, and they said 2 times 8 is 16, is just like 8 plus 8. And they did another example, 5 plus 5 is the same as 2 times 5. Groups of 9. And then when she got down to this part, she said because there's 3 groups, so then she connected it by doing a drawing. This is what she wanted them to understand, that you could do a drawing to go with those explanations. She used guided questions to lead the students to concepts she was trying to teach. She asked the students if they can change the group numbers, and they concluded that the groups have to be equal. Well, they didn't conclude it. She kind of led them to that. That's what she wanted them to come up with. She picked the parts of what the students were saying to fit what she was trying to teach. She let the students use their own words. Then she gave them vocabulary words that fit what she wanted. She had the students compare multiplication and division to addition and subtraction because they already understood those concepts. But the subtraction, when they did the reflection at the end, the subtraction didn't seem to really fit. They were thinking subtraction, but really what this girl said, it was like multiplication. This girl right here, she said it was like multiplication, and she showed she was able to say the connection between how multiplication and division are opposite of each other, but the fact families are the same. Just like adding and subtracting are opposite of each other, but the fact family is the same, like when I did in my other um, thing when I showed, 4 plus 3 is 7, and 7 minus 4 is 3, and, that triangle. So it was the same kind of idea. She had the idea that the teacher wanted. Right here, this girl here had the idea the teacher wanted. But yeah, moving on. She had the students compare multiplication and division to addition and subtraction. I already said that. She had the groups get an answer to the problem in different ways. Then she asked for answers and asked for any different answers so they can explore the idea that the answer, sometimes the answers can be different, but when it comes to multiplying and doing problems like this, the answer's got to be the same every time. You can do different ways to get the correct answer, but the answer has to be the same. So she was able to bring up that idea. She got strategies from the students. One of them was double double, which would be if you're multiplying by 4, you could use double double. The other one, she was hoping they would understand breaking apart, and when the student explained it, he didn't think he was breaking it apart, but he said, "Oh, I just said 20, 40, he counted by 20s, then he counted by 6s, and then he added them together, which was breaking them apart by 10s and 1s." And she showed them how that was what she was looking for. I thought the strategy was interesting when she only gave them the information and had them draw from that, and didn't give them a question, but had them come up with questions they thought they would answer. And she gave different examples of the right way and the wrong way to do the pictures. Even though this was kind of the way she was hoping they would do it, they just put the wrong numbers in. She was trying to get them to connect their picture to what the words say, and teaching them that you have to show what the words are saying in your picture. And up here, the students did a really good like groups of 3, and there was 8 groups of 3, so they figured out that he had $8. Then she came up with Charlie's Way. She tried to tell the kids that it was some other student she had that they don't know, but they saw through it and like pretend Charlie. Thought that was funny. Then she asked them to apply Charlie's Way and fill in the numbers. So she had these green and the same. I think maybe here she could have made this into a circle to show that's a different number. See, this shows that these are green and they're the same size, so they're probably the same unit, which some of the kids caught on to that, and some of the kids were just stuck with their idea of 24, 24, 24. But some kids realized, oh, his is 1 unit and hers is 3 of his 1 units. And then this here, who knows what that was, if she wanted them all together, if she wanted the difference. It was black, so it seemed like she wanted a different number there. So moving on to question 3, the effective engagement strategies that she used. So she used think, pair, share several times throughout the whole lesson. It was a super long lesson, by the way. But she did think, pair, share in a few different ways to connect to their prior knowledge and things like that, and have them defend what they were thinking to their peers. But sometimes in the reflection at the end, they found out that the students didn't always defend their thinking. Thought that was interesting. She had the students elaborate. I thought that was a good thing. So if a student couldn't elaborate for themselves, what do you have? She would say, what do you have to add to what he said? And then the student can pick the other person that added to what they had to say. She also gave them a chance to think about it and then come back to it. So she gave a student a chance to go and draw it and then share his drawing after they thought about it. The next video was missing, so I don't know how that turned out, but I liked how she had a Simon Says while she was trying to set up the next thing so that they would stay engaged and focused on her, but yet they get their wiggles out. So I thought that was cool that she did that. She had them do like a nice little Simon Says, and then she had them reflect on whether or not, another engagement way was cool, she had them reflect on whether or not Charlie's Way helped them understand the concept of dividing and applying that to a word problem, and to see if it really helped them or if it confused them or if they got it. So, so what I would do differently, I would have a previous lesson, maybe because they didn't seem to understand that they needed to make equal groups. So maybe have a previous lesson with some of the vocabulary they might not understand now that she's already gone over this. And then the other thing would be back here in this picture. I would have like it be a different shape and a different color, and um, that way they would know it'd be a different thing. Thanks.